Welcome to the podcast, Let the Prophet Speak. Today we continue our study of the first book of Shmuel, that's Shmuel Aleph, with 15c, the third and final installment on this monumentally important chapter in Tanakh. One of the most basic foundational chapters of Tanakh in terms of the purpose of the kingdom of Israel and the purpose of the people of Israel and the special uniqueness of this new religion that is being born and being established with this monarchy. So we had just read where Shmuel informed Shaul of his mistake, of his terrible error in not listening to God's commands and not doing as he was told. And Shaul was begging Shmuel, he was begging him to forgive him, begging him to give him another chance. And Shmuel said no. Shmuel said no, and we had just studied the symbolism of what happened when Shaul grasped Shmuel's cloak and it tore off a piece of his cloak. And then Shmuel mentioned that it told him the symbolism of God has torn you away. That's it. And then Shmuel continues to speak and says, V'gam Netzach Yisrael, the Netzach Yisrael, the one who is forever in Israel. This is Israel's eternal something. It doesn't specify, presumably the one who is eternal to the people of Israel, the God who is eternally the people of Israel's Lo Yishaker, he does not lie, V'lo Yinochem, and he does not change his mind, V'lo Yinochem. Now this is fascinating, because literally several verses ago, right, God appeared to Shmuel, and this is in this very same chapter. God says to Shmuel the following words. This is verse 10 and 11 in this very chapter. Vayi dvar Adonai el Shmuel emor. The word of God to Shmuel is as follows. Nichamti, the same word. I have changed my mind. I regret ki himlachti et Shaul HaMelech, that I made Shaul the king. And now he's saying, V'lo yinochem, and God does not change his mind. He does not waver in his decisions. Ki lo adam hu lehinochem, he is not a human being to change his mind. So what's going on? Does God change his mind or not? Does he regret his decisions or not? And the simple and obvious answer to this question is that God does not change his mind when it comes to the basic principle, the reason, the idea, the purpose of what he's trying to do here and accomplish, which is to teach people that what he wants is obedience. He does not want sacrifices. What he wants is people to listen and live the kind of life that he's trying to teach the people to live. He's not interested in ritual and sacrifice. Regarding such issues, he is lo yinochem, he does not change his mind. Regarding the people and the mistakes that people make, and the things that are reflected in our actions and our activities, that can cause God to say, well, this person is not doing appropriate. That person is. This person is fulfilling this mission. This person is not. We have choice, and can therefore cause God to need to find different messengers, different people to accomplish his needs, to accomplish what he's trying to do regarding such issues. But regarding the principles, the ideas, those things, God is not going to change. He doesn't change. Those are basic. Those are foundational. Vayomer, and again, Shaul says, Chotasi, I have sinned. Atah, now, kabdeini no neged zikne ami v'neged Yisrael. Honor me before the people of my nation and before the people of Israel. Again, here Shaul is now revealing himself. That humility that we've seen before was because Shaul desired to be looked upon with honor. He was humble, but not genuinely humble. He asked Shmuel, don't embarrass me in front of everyone else. He's concerned about his own honor, not God's honor. V'shuv imi, come back with me and return vishtachavisi, and then I will bow. And here is the key thing, Ladonai Elohecha, to the Lord your God. He still doesn't get it. He still thinks that Shmuel has the power because he's the prophet of this God, right? That Shmuel has the power to to achieve that forgiveness, where he's still not getting the message that the only one who can give such forgiveness is God himself, not Shmuel, not any human being. Vayoshav Shmuel acharei Shaul. However, Shmuel did heed this, because as of now, at this point, Shaul is still the king. So Shmuel, until he finds the proper counterpart, does not want to leave the people leaderless, and presumably for the people's sake, he does go back with Shaul. He does act, at least in front of the people, as if Shaul is the king, still, because he is, right? And give him the honor of accompanying him back in front of the people. Vayishtachu Shaul l'Adonai, and then Shaul bowed to God, because in front of the people. Vayomer Shmuel, and Shmuel said, Hagishu Elai et Agag melech Amalek, bring to me Agag, the king of Amalek. Rather than, it's hard to know exactly what the people had in mind to do with Agag, to do with the king, but one would imagine that they were going to do some sort of a vengeful sort of ceremony in which they would abuse him. And Vayelech Elav Agag ma'adanot, and so Agag came to him with kingly steps. Ma'adan is like walking in a royal manner. Vayomer Agag achein sar mar hamaves, and Agag said, I see now that the bitterness of death has come upon me. Right? So Agag is just declaring, I'm going to meet my death with honor in a royal manner. Vayomer Shmuel, and Shmuel said, and this is very important, it is not because we are more powerful than you and stronger than you, and we wanted your things and your goods and your wonderful treasures that you have stashed away, that we killed you, and that we destroyed your people, and that we're going to execute you now. But rather, Ka'asher shiklo noshim charbecha, just like your sword caused women to be childless. In other words, you killed innocent people. You were a marauding band of bandits that would kill people just for selfishness and for plunder. And you destroyed people's lives, and you destroyed their families. Kain tishgal minashim imecha, so too your mother will lose her children when I kill you. This is your just end, because you are a terrible, sinful, awful, evil tyrant, and therefore I am going to kill you now. Vayishasef Shmuel et Agag lifnei Adonai ba'al Gilgal, and Shmuel then sliced and hacked him before God in Gilgal. And this is Shmuel laying it down. The purpose and reason for this battle was not for us to show that we're stronger than you and therefore we can take your stuff. The purpose was to destroy you, because you embody evil and a way of life that cannot be tolerated in God's world. Vayelech Shmuel haRamasa. Shmuel went back to Ramah, which we know is where Shmuel grew up and where he lived. V'Shaol Allah el Beito Givat Shaol, and Shaol went to his home, which was in Givat Shaol in Giv'ah, which used to be just called Givat Binyamin, the high place of Benjamin. Now that the king is there and Shaul is living there, it's now being called Givat Shaul, the Giv'ah of Saul. V'lo Yosaf Shmuel wrote at Shaul ad yom moso. Shmuel no longer would come to see Shaul until the day of his death. So Shmuel never saw Shaul, never visited him, never paid any respects to him as king anymore. Ki hitabel Shmuel al Shaul, because Shmuel was mourning over Saul. This seems like, even though Shmuel did give him that little bit of honor to appear with him in front of the people in Gilgal, and understood that as long as he doesn't have a replacement, Shaul is still the king, Shmuel couldn't bring himself to go because of the pain that it would cause him, because he was in mourning over him. Vadonai nicham, and God had changed his mind. God had regretted ki himlich et Shaul al Yisrael, that he had made Shaul the king over Israel. This is the end of this chapter. I just want to remind those, some of you may not know, if you had listened to 15a and b before, there were some technical difficulties, so the volume was extremely low. And if you just listen to 15c now, you might want to go back and listen to 15a and b again, because I redid them in hopefully a much better way, with at least much better technical volume, so you can listen and hear it and much clearer. So you might want to go back and listen to 15a and b again. This is 15c now. Thank you for studying this chapter 15, this very monumental and important chapter in Tanakh, and looking forward to studying chapter 16, and of course the rest of the book of Shmuel, and of course the rest of Tanakh together with you.